Back with another ladder race with Coalition Merclonia and our friends at OTR Grit. So we did this one on the Ocean Cliffside Lava Loop in Watopia. Flattish course, but still should be lots of fun. These guys are usually pretty good guys. They're one of the more active teams in the ladder racing. So let's go. Pretty mellow start. It was pretty funny in the afternoon. We started playing with some of the AI tools online to develop race plans for us. And oddly enough, both ChatGPT and Google Gemini gave us similar advice. Then we even played further and get some pre-race meal plans. So it's kind of interesting what we can do with AI tools these days. So earlier in the day, I had a root canal done, or I guess second day of a root canal done. So I was feeling a bit not top form. I'm not sure I can. Maybe I'll blame the anesthetics for my performance in this race, and we'll go from there. Also trying out a new sauce overlay, or I'm not sure what you call it, just a sauce window to do the ladder scoring. In a race like this, where it tends to stay together. Maybe not as useful, but maybe in different races where it breaks up and there are different groups on the road, it'd be kind of interesting to see the live scoring, to see where everyone is, and see what we need to do to ensure the win. Also need to look at where I'm placing this in the future. It's over the segment banner, but maybe I could find a better place and better overlay so it looks a little nicer in video next time. So generally stay together. It's a 4v4 this time. So I'm not sure whether 5v5 would have made it any more likely we'd have any attacks along the way. I guess sometimes it could, given you've got one more set of legs to burn, go through. But I think OTR was pretty happy to keep it together. There were no real big attacks. There's a few spots on this course where you could have attacks. One of them coming up soon when we get into the Italian villas in the Dirty Cipressa. Actually, when I looked back to see when I had raced this course before, it was about a year before. I haven't been on this course a lot, but it was a year before, and it was against another OTR team with some similar members. We did a lap and a half that time, and there were attacks on the first lap of this one because my PR for the Dirty Cipressa was this race a year ago with OTR. But here I wouldn't really call it attack, just upping the pace a little bit. No one seems to fall off the back here, but you'll notice in the upper window, my heart rate was high throughout this whole race, and I'm not sure whether that was just I hadn't raced in a bit, or just any sort of after effects of antibiotics and the anesthetic from the root canal. But I wasn't feeling great. I'm happy there were no attacks. I wasn't really keen to attack myself, given where I was. I was just happy to sit in as much as possible. And so that seemed to be the case for the most part. We're coming up about a kilometer and a bit, almost 2 kilometers to the bottom of just the Epic KOM, just as far as the bypass as part of this course. So everyone's still all together. We're waiting to see if there's any attacks there. There's no point in trying to attack here anytime leading up to it, because by the time, if you go off solo to the bottom of the climb, you'll easily get caught on some of the steeper slopes unless you've got diamonds in your legs, which I don't think any of us on this team do. Otherwise, we'd probably be racing at a much higher level. So here we come, coming along. No one's attacking yet. So we get so it's steep. Then there's a really steep switchback, and then another steep switchback, and then we get to the bridge. So here, no one's going on the first part of the slope. Gallo starts, and then he hits a ghost or has a dropout. We're not sure. Some of the guys in the group got a ghost. Some of them got a feather. Fortunately, I had the ghost, which was almost useless on this course. In the small ladder race of 4, where everyone's together, it's kind of hard to find an opportune time to use that one. Here, Craig on our team starting to go to the front. and he drops his feather and he goes. So now I'm going to sit. I'm not going to push. I'll let these guys close the gap. Not our job to do it. So here Abbott is going. I will sit on the wheel. Not too close. I don't want to bring his other teammate up, but I don't want him to get too far on his own. But Craig has got 6 seconds, 7 seconds on us. Now Kevin goes to the front. So now we're going to make sure that Abbott doesn't get too far ahead. Kevin's going to close that gap, and I'm going to close it with him. So still, Craig's at a decent sized gap here. Let's see where he can go. But it looks like, there we go, he's going to be caught, and everyone's going to come together. There are a few people 1 or 2 seconds off the back, but not a big enough gap that they're staying off. But we've managed to burn some legs with some of the OTR guys trying to chase down Craig, which is great. So coming up around, one more little push up before we hit the bridge. Craig and one of the OTR guys are up off the front, but we're not in too much of a rush to catch at this point, and we will catch before we hit the slope down at the bridge. And so at this point, that's pretty much the main point of attack, the main thing that could have really separated the group until we get to the last 1.5 kilometers. So we just play around here, get out ahead. There's some attacks to kind of get off the front to create some separation, but it's pretty hard to have a separation from here that would withstand the next 5 kilometers. So I figure at this point I may as well play with my ghost, but then it just backfired. I'm not sure whether you can draft or you can't draft when you're in the ghost, with draft turns off. Maybe that wasn't the best move, since I seem to have lost draft a little bit there. So now coming into the tunnels, last little stretch of the race. Nothing's really going on here too much. Everyone's just trying to rest and recover, get ready for the group sprint at the end, and watch out for that last little punch up. So out of this tunnel, hang a right into the next. And so we've got a pretty good sprint team. I think when we looked at the numbers before, our sprint numbers were pretty good. Craig has really high pure watts in the sprint and can go from pretty far out. He has a good sustained sprint effort. He often goes long on his sprints and does quite well with them. So we were quite confident. Pete, the other Pete, also a really good sprinter. At one point I was a decent sprinter, haven't been for a little bit now, but hopefully I'll get that back soon. So here we go. The OTRs pushed off the front here, and they seem to have dropped only their teammate. So we've still got 1 kilometer to go. They've dropped their teammate, who is just, I think, threw in the towel, and now we've got 4 versus 3. So we've got the numbers advantage for sure coming up into it, and given that they launched that attack and we were able to draft to get back in, we also have some energy advantage. So here we go. Pete and Craig up front. So pushing, doing my best, trying not to finish dead last. So, and I managed not to finish dead last. I thought, looked like from the video the other guy had me on the line, but